to the late morning show with DJ and
Rin.
I am honored today to be here as your host to present to you about another episode of history. Now, I'd like to ask you a question. How did the world begin? Did it start just like how the Christians believe when God created the world, or did it come from monkeys? But there's one thing for sure. Our ancestors roamed the earth in one of the greatest civilizations ever to exist in this world. It is called the Great Empire in pre-Columbian America, what is known as the Inca Empire. Now, what is the Inca Empire? The Inca first appeared in what is today southeast Peru during the 12th century AD. The Incas themselves called their empire Tawantinsuyu, meaning the land of the four quarters or the four parts together. Now, Rin, tell me more about the Inca civilization.
Well, the Inca civilization, they gradually built their kingdom in Americas, which was the largest in their time. Yeah. And then they had many distinct groups, like around 100 ethnic groups.
100?
100 ethnic groups. Among it had around 12 million inhabitants. 12 million, can you believe that?
No.
That's a lot. That's a lot in their time. There were not that many problems in their time. They ruled quite well actually. But then the biggest problem came in 1572 when the Spanish came and invaded their
Spanish.
places.
Just like Philippines, man.
Yeah,
Spanish.
it's hard. Spanish are really strong.
Wait. Now,
Well-
to understand more how they lived, me and Rin and I, will take you back to history to see for yourselves how the Incas lived.
2,000 kilometers away lay a bustling empire of 2 million square kilometers. Tahuantinsuyu, the land of the four quarters, as the Inca called their realm, included parts of modern Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, Bolivia, Chile, and Argentina. It had a population of more than 10 million across innumerable ethnic groups and languages. The Inca developed in near isolation, so their culture was missing many things that were vital in the old world. Militarily, the Inca were extremely organized and used a flexible decimal system to organize units. They could raise armies of hundreds of thousands of soldiers and move them across rough terrain with ease. Almost all able-bodied men between 25 and 50 had military training. Each province would send men to join a military campaign whenever needed. The state made sure that no province was sending more men than they could, and on particularly long campaigns, men were regularly allowed to return home to make sure their lives did not fall out of order. Like the Aztecs, the Inca relied on cotton armor. They wore thick alpaca wool tunics and helmets to protect themselves. These tunics were so effective at stopping arrows that Spanish soldiers adopted them while fighting the Inca, and there are reports of them leaving battles looking like porcupines with dozens of arrows wedged in their armor. A large shield made of hardwood imported from their jungle provinces was kept on their back. Another, much smaller shield made of lighter wood was kept on the arm. A small cape attached to it could be used to protect their legs from missiles.
Oh,
This will work.
whew. Now we've teleported here to back in time to the Inca civilization or the Inca Empire. Now we will show to you here how the people lived. Now,
Alright.
shall we get started?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go.
So, do you know much about the Inca civilization?
No, that's why we're here to learn more about them.
Alright, okay. So let's see who we will meet. Well, okay.
We see some people walking,
Oh,
but let's see you interview first. Oh, let's.
how about that young man?
Rin, I can't speak our language.
Oh wait. Now you can. Let's go.
Oh,
Hey, hello.
hey.
Can you speak English?
Yeah,
Oh, okay, okay. Well, okay.
So, may I ask you what's your name?
my name is Kashka.
Kashka.
Oh,
what
and-
does that? Doesn't your name in the Inca Civilization? Does your name have a meaning?
Yeah, it means the gods of nature.
Gods of nature.
Oh,
gods of nature.
so what are you doing here?
I'm farming.
Oh, so you're a peasant?
Yeah, I'm a peasant.
Oh, okay.
So what do you do in your daily life?
Oh, okay. Well, Inca Empire is an empire that flourished around the 12th century. It eventually extended across western South America from Quito in the north to Santiago in the south. Ordinary men like me usually wear long sleeveless shirts or tunics. I am just a peasant. I can't afford jewelry. Men carry small bag, kept some leaves like coca leaves for chewing, as well as good luck charms. I usually work in lands that are owned by the government. No one owns land in our society except the government. Peasants pay taxes to the government by giving the crops. The crops that we plant are corn, squash, and beans. Here is a pond that I usually fish for this nobleman. He always keeps an eye on me. We are expected to work all the time when we are not sleeping. The only time that we are allowed to rest is the religious festival. I have to work really hard. I have no time to rest nor sleep. All my family members are hunters. My dad taught me how to hunt since I was 10 years old. We usually hunt animals like pheasants and deer. The types of equipment that we use are arrows and bows. Everyone has to pay tax except the government, and I have to pay by giving them the crops. Inca art is best seen in highly polished metal work. In gold, consider the sweat of the sun. Silver, it consider the tears of the moon, and copper.
Thank you for your time. I hope you have a great day.
Thank you for your information.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
So,
So where are we
Here.
headed? Let's find some other people.
who should we go for next?
So,
So,
let's find.
Yeah. Who should we go for first?
This wealthy young.
Oh, yes. Hey, you two.
Hey, you.
Hey, get to work.
Get to work.
What?
What do you mean?
Oh no, you must be mistaken.
Who are you?
My name is DJ and he's Rin.
Oh,
We are from the future
uh-huh.
and we have a YouTube channel. So we made
YouTube?
YouTube.
Hey, YouTube.
It's just we're just gonna have an interview.
Okay, so basically, we want to show our audience what the Inca Civilization is like. So,
we are from way into the future from your time.
may I ask what your name is?
My name is Ekugo.
What?
Ekeko
Ekeko.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
means wealth.
Oh.
Oh.
So what are you?
What is your role in this civilization?
Me. I am the government of the Inca Civilization.
Government, governor.
Government.
Governor.
Government.
Governor.
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 Basic governor of the civilization.
Oh, okay.
So what do you do? Like, what is your role? What is your daily life?
Slavery.
Slavery?
Yeah.
You're slave?
Can you please
Yeah.
show me?
Sure.
Oh, okay.
Hi, I am the nobleman. My clothes are made with finer materials and are more decorated with chains all over my neck. Unlike the commoners that could not own land, the nobles were able to own lands and not pay taxes to the government. The main occupation of the nobles is working in the government. Only the nobles were allowed to travel within the empire. The nobles were allowed to have many wives, while the commoners are only allowed to have one. Starting at the age of 14, the noblemen wore large gold earplugs. They would put in bigger and bigger plugs over time.
The government had inspectors that would keep an eye on the commoners. He checked to see if the people were keeping their house clean and tidy, and always checked the process of their work. The daily life of a noble is much easier lifestyle. They had to work but had important jobs in the government. They could own land and didn't have to pay taxes. This nobleman can eat all day without wasting his power to do any labor work. The food that they eat depended a lot on where they lived. It may be corn, scratch, beans. They were main staples diet. Tomatoes, peppers, fish, and ducks. People ate well and were taken care of. Somehow, government provides food for the citizens too.
Only wealthy children were allowed to go to school in our society. Since the commoners were busy working, children were not hugged or taken care of by their parents. The children learned to take care of themselves, and they began to work when they were still young, and only learned this craft or skill that would be their job for the rest of their lives.
My family is so rich.
I can study here. The Inca Civilization house is very simple. Here, this is made of adobe brick, and the roofs are made out of straws, like dry straws. Our house are really simple, and it's only a single story, which means there's less furnitures. I'm the nobleman. This is my house. This is my table. This is my chair, made of wooden. Everything here is really, really high tech. But for the commoners, they're a single story house. Their furniture is so less compared to me being nobleman. It's time for me to travel now.
So, do
Thank
you get?
you.
No, wait. I have a question.
Oh,
Do you
okay.
have? Do you get paid?
Of course.
How much money?
It's not money. What is money?
Oh, yeah.
What is money?
Okay,
Okay.
thank you for your time. Oh, sorry.
Okay, thank you for the information that you have informed us of. Okay.
4-5.
See you. See you.
Okay.
Alright.
Okay, let's.
So let's go to the next person. Who should we go for now?
The nobles were divided into 5 levels. Number 1. Sapa Inca. The emperor or king is in this class. They are the highest class in the society and were considered gods in many ways. Level number 2. Vilak Umu. The priests belonged to this class. The gods were very important to the Incas, and the high priest spoke directly to their most powerful god, the sun god Inti. Level number 3. The royal family. The direct relatives of the Sapa Inca are in this class. They received high positions in the government. The primary wife of the emperor was the queen, called the Koya. Level number 4. The noble class, or Inca class, was made up of people directly descended from the people who first established the city of Cuzco. They were called the Inca. They lived lives of luxury and held the best positions. Level number 5. Inca by privilege. People in high positions in the government were in this class. These people were formed after the empire grew. They assist the king. These people were considered nobles, but not as high in the class as the true Inca.
So, what have we learned from people we interviewed? First, we have the peasant, and then we have the governor. So,
Well, we definitely learned that this place, the Inca Civilization, they rely on manual labor. As you can see, there's slaves there working,
farming.
relying on much more.
He also tells his slaves to go fishing. So, but we
And
haven't.
make sure that everything is in place.
But we haven't seen a woman.
Oh, that's true. Wait. Oh, how about her over there? Oh yeah. Let's go to her. Okay. Hey, woman. So, what do you do? What is your name?
What's your name? Oh, Peruda. Oh, what does that mean?
Goddess of love.
Goddess of love. Oh. Okay. So, what are you doing here?
Meeting for my husband.
For your husband.
Husband.
How old are you?
16.
6. Wow. Okay, so that's a major
Why is it like
point.
that?
Women in our civilization usually get married as early as 12.
12. Have you heard that? In the Inca Civilization, they get married as early as 12.
years old. My mom wants to be married 25. That's like twice.
Twice. Wow.
I don't know why I said that.
Okay.
So,
Okay, so
what do you do? What is your role in the community?
I'm just a woman in the civilization.
So you had to work for your husband.
Yeah, we learned knitting, weaving, and cooking when we were young.
Oh, that's good.
Women wear long dresses like I do. We also have colorful outfits. Both men and women wear caps to keep ourselves warm during the winter. For us, women, we were often married as early as 12 years old, generally by the age of 16. For men, they were married by the age of 20. Women simply consulted with their parents and come to a mutual agreement and married the ones their family chose for them. Once they were married, they moved into their husbands' houses and began working at his house after the marriage, while half of the property she gained from the marriage went back to the local heirloom.
Will you marry me?
Women were taught spinning, cooking, and weaving. Each woman has different tasks after they were taught with specific skills. After learning, they could become teachers for the newer chosen women. Some women served in temples, and others became wives of the emperor or nobles.
Children in this civilization were not watched over like they are in most societies today. They were left alone throughout the day. Parents didn't hug or cuddle their children. Their mother only feed and clean the child and leave them alone.
No, I would hug you.
Women in this civilization usually had a main role to be a housewife, like cleaning. Or cooking.
Okay, put it. Okay, repeat it. Okay, put it.
We have Inti, the god of the sun, Viracocha, creator god and culture hero, and lastly, Apu Ilapu, rain god.
We believe in animism, the attribution of a soul to plants, inanimate objects, and natural phenomena. Fetishism, a form of sexual behavior in which gratification is linked to an abnormal degree to a particular object, activity, part of the body, and the worship of nature god.
The Inca civilization worshipped many different gods. The Incas believed that to make the gods happy was the way to fulfill their own life. They had many deities, however, including the sun god Inti, the creator Viracocha, and the rain god Apu Ilapu. The Incas were really religious. Their beliefs are embedded deeply in their lives. The Incas held many religious festivals throughout the year, with music, dancing rituals, and surprisingly human sacrifices.
We honored our gods through praying, fasting, and animal sacrificing, but the most extreme one is human sacrifice, typically of children or teenagers. It is the most powerful form of honor in the Inca civilization.
Mummification was an important part of Inca funerary rites. Even for commoners, there was a Spanish conquest named Guaman Poma. He described November as being the month of carrying the dead. It is a time when people would try to feed the mummies of their ancestors.
Pachacamac, the sun, rose slowly from Lake Titicaca. Pachacamac was so bright that nothing else could be seen in the sky but him. But the night sky was empty, so he made the stars, the planets, and the moon. The beautiful moon, Pachamama, became his wife, and together they ruled the heavens and the earth. Pachacamac fashioned the first humans from the stone of an enormous mountain of rock. The first humans were pitiful creatures. They knew nothing of the world, nor how to survive in it. The sun and the moon bore a son and a daughter. Out of pity, they sent their children to the earth to help them. The son of Pachacamac taught men how to plow and plant the fields, and how to build houses. The daughter of the moon approached the women and taught them the art of weaving and how to prepare food. Teach the humans to be kind and fair. I will provide light and warmth every day without fail. But make sure they never forget their creators.
It was really sad, but our last emperor, named Atahualpa XIII, died by the strangulation of Francisco Pizarro, the Spanish conquistadors. Also, a disease called smallpox killed about 65% to 90% of our populations. The execution of Atahualpa, the last free reigning emperor, marked the end of 300 years of Inca civilization. People started to rebel against their masters to gain freedom, and this also led to the fall of Inca civilization. There were intruders from the Spanish that killed most of us and take our lands.
On the 26th of July 1529, Pizarro was issued a royal license to conquer this new land and named the governor of Peru. Armed with a royal permission, Pizarro set off recruiting potential conquistadors. He returned to his hometown of Trujillo, gathered his 4 brothers, Juan, Francisco, Gonzalo and Hernando, and then set sail for the Americas in January 1530. The Sapa Inca Huayna Capac had recently subdued much of what is now Ecuador, when reports began trickling in. Strange men had traded with the city of Tumbes. Alongside these reports came others that were much more horrific. Chasqui's runners arrived daily, informing the Sapa Inca that a disease had appeared in the north and was killing thousands. Nothing like it had ever been seen before. Plagues were unknown to the Inca, so this strange sickness, known to us as smallpox, ravaged the population. The Eurasian disease was not brought by Pizarro, however, as it arrived slightly before he did, creeping in from North and Central America. In the following years, up to 90% of the empire would succumb to the disease. Sometime around 1527, the Sapa Inca Huayna Capac and his heir died from smallpox alongside millions of their subjects. 2 years before Pizarro had petitioned the King of Spain, Eurasian germs had initiated the conquest for him. With the succession now unclear and the realm divided, the sons of Huayna Capac both tried to claim the throne and tossed the empire into chaos. Atahualpa, who possessed much less territory than Huascar, controlled his dead father's veteran legions and slowly pushed down from Quito towards Cusco. During the final bloody climax of the war in 1532, Huascar's remaining armies were smashed outside of Cusco and he was captured by Atahualpa's generals. Atahualpa was camped over 900 kilometers away in the town of Cajamarca with a small portion of his army awaiting news of the battle. Even with the Incas' exceptional highways and their tireless chesquis, it would take 5 days for word of the victory to reach Atahualpa. There, in Cajamarca, Atahualpa planned his eventual coronation as the supreme ruler of the Inca world. He was eager to get word from his generals and set off on his victory march towards his new capital.
Thank you for your time,
Peruda. So, where should we go now?
I think that sums up our place here in the Inca Civilization.
Yeah.
Wanna head back to...
You want to head back to our town?
Yeah, our time.
Yeah, I spend more than enough time here.
So basically, what we've learned here is that, the first person we interviewed was a peasant. So he relies on farming to work because they need food and agriculture to live. Next, we met a governor, one of the wealthiest people in their civilization who runs the society. He said that he owns slaves and he uses slaves also for benefit society. And lastly, we also met a woman. Now, in their time in Inca Civilization, women did all the knitting, the cooking. They basically had to work for their family. That was their role in
They
society.
didn't have as much power as the men. Well, in our time, men have more power, a little bit more, but there's more equality in our
Right,
time
that's
compared to, as we see here, where women, they don't really do much. They stay at home and knit.
So, sum up, this place is a beautiful place, and it's amazing how this all became what we know in our world today. I mean, yeah, modern times. So
Well,
let's head back.
We spend much more time than we needed to spend here. So maybe we can go back to where we came from?
Yes.
All right. Let's
So-
go over there.
We're not gonna time travel yet.
We can go travel.
Oh, okay. Look, they even made a swing.
Oh, this is a nice swing. Wow, the nature here is very beautiful.
Look, and stop.
Plants everywhere. Look at this, plants. The chickens and more plants.
Chicken food. Okay, let's get back.
Okay,
Three.
let's go back.
No, here.
Oh yeah, here. Okay.
Three.
One. Oh, okay. Finally, we're back. Feels much better to wear this and have air conditioning. Feels much better to be back now.
We have witnessed how the society evolved and adapted. To conclude this magnificent Inca civilization, it was really a sophisticated ancient history full with mysterious and hidden treasures and ideas of the past. Inca civilization, though to be a really strong influence in architectures, buildings, and techniques in engineering wheels without modern tools. With all being said, it's time for me to head out.
Well, as you can see, my partner DJ is gone. He's probably being chased by a lion or somewhere out there. But I think it's time to end this show now. Well, let's see you next week, same time, 9 p.m. on Friday. See you there. Thank you.